All right, cool. Luner, how are you, man?
Feeling great, man.
Good. Appreciate you coming.
Fantastic. It's a pleasure to be here, man. Definitely.
Cool.
It's an honor just to be here, man.
Yes.
The name, man, what you're supposed to say is definitely dope. Just like I mentioned to you, man, it's dope. It's definitely unique.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm excited.
Cool. Yeah, and I'm excited to speak to you. You know, we recently met each other, and so I didn't know much about you. I didn't know you existed, but then when I saw and I heard, and I was like, damn, okay, this guy's doing it. Like, he's really doing some good stuff, you know?
Yeah, appreciate it.
I met you through my aunt at one of my aunt's events.
Yeah.
And you're a filmmaker.
Yes.
Now, have you ever you've only done photography? I mean, filmmaking, or did you do anything else?
Yes, I'm a graphic artist. I'm a graphic artist. I've been doing it for a good over 20-something years.
Pull the mic a little closer. You can just pull it over to you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so anybody knows me, I've always been a graphic artist. That's kind of like how I started. You know, I went to school for that. When I actually graduated out of high school, I wasn't sure what I wanted to get into. And I remember my guidance counselor asking me, well, you should go check out McFadder for graphic design. And I'm like, what's that? And until I took the time to check it out, and then I saw these images on the wall. It was like, yo, that's kind of like the stuff I see on the bus, you know? So I was like, yo, okay, let me check it out. And I think that's how the whole thing got started for me. So you know how it is. Growing up, I used to sketch a lot. You know, I used to draw, and people always used to say, man, you're going to be a big artist, man. You're going to do this. But art is so, it's so broad, like you really don't know. I wasn't sure what type of art I was going to do, to really be honest. You know, I didn't even know what graphic design was. All I knew is I used to do a lot of, like, paintings with acrylic and oil and stuff like that. Started doing a lot of, I used to sketch, but it wasn't really clear. And I remember one of my old teachers told me that you'll never make any money if you stay within fine arts. And that was a lie.
Wow.
That was a big lie.
What did he teach?
I wasn't AEP class, advanced play placement. We did everything from pottery, sketches, and ink, pretty much everything, like painting.
So he was within that world. He just didn't see that there was a future in it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, man. Actually, it was a she, you know, and she was like, yeah, find something else to do. You're never going to make any money. And I'm like, what type of teacher that says that? I wish I knew her name, man, because that's crazy, because now I'm actually seeing brothers that actually selling the paintings for like $1,500, $2,000 and up. It's still big.
Art will never go away.
It'll never go away. No. I don't know why she said that, man. I never understood why. So I was really confused. I wasn't sure what I really wanted to get into. I feel like everything that I have done in the past was setting me up for such a time as this, to really be honest. Because during that time, I also dabble in music as well. Now that plays a big part of filmmaking for me as well, because I used to do gospel music back in the days, you know, and I learned that through a friend of mine that was actually rapping. So yeah, so
that's great.
All of these have, you know, something that you know, that contribute to what I'm doing right now. Yeah.
And right now, what is it that you're doing for people that don't know?
For right now, I'm making films, man. You know, which is another type of art. You know, creating, writing, producing, directing films. You know, creating stories that matters most to me and what I feel that may matter most to some people. I'm not going to say it's all, because you can't really cater to everyone.
You can't, yeah.
You know, so I think I'm loving this new type of art.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you feel you found your your niche or your audience like that? You found your world yet? Because I know your company name, which I love.
Luniversal.
Luniversal. I love that, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, that took a while just to come up with that, man.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it. The funny thing is I never used to like my name, Luner. Whenever I would say my name to someone, they'd be like, Luner, is Luner your real name? And I'm like, yeah. Especially white people, they'd be like, Luner, that's so cool. And, you know, so I think I've gotten to like my name, if that makes sense, you know. So for whatever reason, it's always fascinating. So I'm like, okay, cool. But Luniversal, how I came up with that, it was just when I thought about it, okay, now I'm in film and I'm looking for a unique name and I couldn't come up with anything. And then I thought of, wait a minute. And then I started looking at different companies, Lionsgates and all of that, and I was like, wait a minute, Universal, wait. Why not Luniversal? It's me, you know?
No, it's awesome, bro. Awesome.
I'm like, why not?
Yeah. I don't think anybody has a better name than that. Like, it's just it's a recognizable name. But when you put your spin on it with Luner, it flows. It's not forced.
Yes, it's not forced at all.
Yeah,
it's not forced.
And then to compare yourself to such a big entity, I think it's amazing. You know? It just sets you up for bigger things.
Yeah. Somebody was like, "Oh, you better not ever get too big because Universal's gonna come after you." I'm like, "Oh, it's so different."
Nah,
I don't think so.
They can't. They'll appreciate it when they see the great stuff you do. No, that's good. Great name. Cool, man. So, and then how many movies have you done so far?
Well, I'm working on my third film right now, which is Queen's King. My first one was Love Until It Hurts, and then we getting ready to release Bay Night, and February 11th of next year.
Okay.
So I'm definitely excited about that.
Cool. And these stories, you've written all these scripts?
2 of them I have written, and Bay Night, I've co-written that project.
Now, are these stories that you draw from like real life, or are you just coming up? Is this fiction?
Yes, a lot of it is pretty much real life. I mean, I can start with Love Until It Hurts. This is a film that the subject matter is domestic violence. A friend of mine, which was stabbed multiple times.
Wow.
And she came to me to put her package together, graphic design. And so I felt compelled to do much more than just create this package for her. I was like, well, as a filmmaker, how can I bring more awareness to what she's doing? And that's when I was like, well, how about I put a 5-minute short film together? About a woman that's in the situation that's trying to get out. Maybe we can air it at a small theater and have her talk about her story. That's how the whole thing came about. So I really feel that the way my life has been, or how things have been happening, I feel like God has been setting me up, if that makes sense. Because I don't think I had a roadmap to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. My first film is going to be that. It was never like that. Everything would happen just organically, not knowing how the outcome's going to be and, which direction that it's going to go. I just follow my intuition. I'm very big on that,
Dope. That's awesome.
To be honest.
And that story you said was which one?
Loving Till It Hurts.
And that was your first one?
That was my first one. First feature film. I said, you know what? I'm going to produce a feature film. Never done a feature film before. I did a 30-minute short film, like maybe it was maybe a year before that. And yeah, I just decided I didn't know what to really expect. I think the short film, again, started as supposed to be a short. Then I realized the story keeps getting bigger. Like it didn't end for me. I keep getting inspired and more inspired. Then while we shooting the short film, we took a break. I felt like the story needs to keep going. So we took like a year break just to write. and keep in mind, I mean, writing was not I knew nothing about writing. Everything
so that was your first go at it. Wow.
Yeah, that's my go at it, man. Like, I remember I purchased a book, man, about screenwriting, and that book was able to guide me because I knew nothing about Act 1, Act 2, or Act 3. Literally, for anybody that doesn't know me, I'm not a technical person. I think my strongest point, I would say, the strongest thing about me is I know once I set my mind to do something, it's going to get done. Best believe that it's going to get done somehow, some way, and whatever that I'm going to put, whatever that I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to put my best foot forward. That I know for a fact. But when it comes to the industry, like even with the terminologies, when it comes from like me and my DP, we always go back and forth in terms of he's very technical. Like he knows all these big verbs because he actually went to school. So versus me, that was our biggest challenge in terms of speaking the right language, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Most people won't say that, but that's the reality. That's my reality. And that can make it a big. It could be complex for someone. Let's say if I happen to work with another DP, that probably won't have the patience. You see what I mean? So it's it's a learning experience. I'm still learning. I'm still growing, and I love the art, and I'm willing to learn from like everybody, and I mean everybody, man. Like I get excited just to meet other filmmakers. Like even when your aunt told me about you, and I was like, and I remember she spoke to you years ago, and she said, "Yeah, my nephew." He's in the business, and she just put it out like that, and I'm like, and then until I checked you out, and it was like, yo, this dude is doing some big things, man. I'm like, are you kidding? I call her back, and then the crazy thing about it, like I mentioned, at her birthday party, you were there, and I didn't even know. Yeah. Of course, she was so busy,
Yeah.
It was my good friend Ian, which is the guy who really believes in me. He was at my premiere, and he was like, yo, you need to get in touch with this guy, man. That guy does a lot of great things. And I still didn't know who you were then. It was until after. And I called her up, and I'm like, yo, like I cussed her out. And I was like, yo, Ricky was there. You didn't tell me. Oh, I didn't introduce you. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so, I get really amped up, man, just to meet other filmmakers, man. That's how I am. That's why I go to festivals to go meet people, man. Like I meet everybody, man. It's like I'm like young, old. That's me. I just love the industry, man.
Yeah, and I think you have the right energy for it. You have the right. I think, especially because you do graphic design.
Yeah.
You're a creative person. You have that type of a background. I think you're perfect, and it showed. Like I haven't even seen a clip, but I expect big things just based on the way I've seen you market it so far.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
So,
thank you.
I'm sure it'll do well.
Yeah, that's very big, man. It's when you put as an independent filmmaker, it's extremely important that we find ways of doing things to make sure you get that project out there. It's so different from, the industry, like Hollywood versus us. And there's no really one way. You just got to try to find a way that works best for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is extremely challenging, but I'm up for the challenge. I'm up for the challenge. I've come this far, man. I can't go back there.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well let's get going to your page, and I'm sure we'll talk some more throughout the rest of this conversation. Let's see here.
I always used to think that my page, I don't think it's fascinating compared to most people. Page.
Well, I'm sure you got some very interesting things here. All right, so we'll start with here, Universal Films. I mean, we kind of touched on that.
Yeah.
Love the name, like I said. And let's see what you have here. You have production, film director, award-winning film entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You came up with that?
It's like a new term. I didn't come up with that, but it is definitely it exists. It's like
Oh, it
saying,
does? Okay.
oh yeah. It's like saying, we are entrepreneurs, but we make film. So
Yeah,
you just combine it together.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so let's look at your latest post. What you got here?
This was very interesting.
Lights, camera, action. South Florida provides a beautiful backdrop for TV shows and movies, and Broward is trying to reel in more film production. Thank you for joining us. I'm Naja Sherman.
And I'm Jim Barry. Today, the county wants to indict movie makers to shoot more films in Broward. CBS 4's Joan Murray tells us about the plan to put the Hollywood in places like Hollywood, Florida. Joan, what are they thinking?
Well, what's not to like with perfect weather and beautiful backdrops like you see behind me? We really have it all. So you probably wondered what has prevented Hollywood from come calling. Well, the answer is incentives. But now here in Broward, they're going to be offering hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they were doing
to
that
film
there.
and
Oh,
television
yeah.
makers to produce here. From the Glades crime drama to Bird Notice, South Florida is no stranger to film and television production. But now Broward is on the verge of becoming a breakout star.
Was this year this happened?
Yeah.
Planning phase.
This year, and I was there.
Planting a very large flag here.
At this thing right here?
Yeah.
That's going on?
DJ Viola, a Hollywood producer and director, is a key player in Broward's ambitious plan.
This place is a bullseye for any production, any location manager, any director. Everywhere you look, there's production value.
He's working to create a massive production facility, much like the Los Angeles Center Studios, with sound stages and production offices. It would be built here on this 60-acre former Superfund site in Fort Lauderdale, north of Sunrise Boulevard, east of 31st Avenue.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Entitled Fort Lauderdale Studios.
I hope it happens.
COVID really hypercharged and turbocharged the content production demand. And now with all the different streaming services and where you can watch and see movies, the demand is just growing exponentially.
Broward Commissioner Steve Geller has championed the film industry and says it will translate to high-paying jobs.
I don't know what a gaffer is.
Wow.
They all
I would-
appear. I mean, there's hundreds of names, and those hundreds of people are averaging $100,000 a year.
The deal breaker is incentives. Besides every venue you can think of, there's money back. Your production must be at least $400,000.
And that's the key point right there.
You'll get a 15% rebate capped at $175,000. 60% of your production must be in the greater Fort Lauderdale area. For independent filmmakers like Luner Eugene, who produces films locally, the budget is a little steep.
That's Bay
He's
Night.
hoping the incentives will trickle down.
And a lot of us cannot afford to get funding for some of our projects. A lot of us have great stories.
A lot of great stories to tell. This is really
That's awesome,
exciting.
man. She went up there to do that.
I had no idea.
How many other filmmakers were there?
There were some filmmakers. I'm not sure if all of them was into films, but I think they had other people just in the media, TV, and so on. But that room should have been filled, man, because I know
that's what I'm saying.
a whole lot more filmmakers that should have been there. I didn't even know what to really expect, man. A friend of mine was like, "Yo, this is happening, Film Summit. You guys got to go." And Tony and I, we went there, and I think I've shared the information with two other filmmakers. Yeah, and we got there and just listening to everything they were saying. And I'm like, okay, well, it's all good, but how does it benefit me as the independent filmmaker?
Yeah.
Because if you look at what the requirements were,
$400,000.
400,000. How many independent filmmakers do you know that are here?
Not a lot of people are gonna have
Not.
that. Yeah.
Not a lot of people even have 50,000 to do a film. It's very tricky. So the reason why I went up there, because one of my friends that actually works at the film office, and she was like, "Do you have any questions?" And I'm like, "No, not really." She's like, "Nah, yeah, I think you should go up." I'm like, okay, so I went up. And because I went up and then I asked the question, well, how does it benefit me, the independent filmmakers? Most of our films are being produced under like, even some of us don't even have a budget.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? So how does it benefit us? And they really didn't have an answer, you know, to really be honest. I think they're catering more to the big studios because they want the big studios to come here, bring money, which would be great. I think the only thing how this could probably benefit us is just, I don't know, jobs. You know, when it comes to that, which is a great thing, but in terms of budget wise, I just don't see how, you know, unless we there at the mark, you know, that makes it extremely complicated. You know, so that was the main reason. So because I went up there, so I had to use the restroom, and then somebody stopped me, and they were like, "Hey, do you have a minute?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And it was the news reporter, and she wanted my opinion on the whole thing, and that's how the whole thing got started. And then again, this is not something that I planned to go. I was like, all right, let's go. You know, it's just one of those things that just happened. It was just weird.
That's awesome.
You know, but it was
meant
great.
for you to be there, right?
Yeah, it was meant for me to be there, man. Because I think the last time I was on the news was like back in the days, man. Like in high school. It was crazy.
For what?
It was a riot that was going on.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That was like the last time I don't think I spoke, but I happened to be on the front cover of that article. It was a riot, man. That was back in the days when, you know, we had Haitians fighting against Americans, everybody else. It was one of those, man. It was crazy.
Hey, as filmmakers, we know we got to explore those stories.
Yes.
Because, man, there's a lot of crazy stories from those times.
Yes, man.
You know? All right. And then as we're going down this, if you see something you'd like to stop on, definitely be like, oh, yeah, let's talk about that one. All right. Well, you have a very good graphic artist eye, and I didn't know you did graphic design.
Yeah.
So seeing this, I realized, okay, I can see your work there. And this movie is Bay
This
Night.
one, yes, that's Bay Night.
What's her name?
That's Sandra.
The one that was sitting on the couch.
Yes,
right?
that's Sandra. So
I've seen her model for my aunt before, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, that's how I met her.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because that's why I met her, because she would provide a lot of the wardrobe for her and everything. She always talks about Ruth. And I finally got to meet Ruth, and I was like, hey, the famous Ruth. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so what's the premise of this story?
This story, the funny thing about this story, in fact, I just recently put up a post on that because the Miami Web Fest, I believe, happened either last week or it's still going on this week. I think, yeah. We basically, while we were shooting, I believe, Love Until It Hurts, in the midst of shooting Love Until It Hurts, because it was 3 years in the making. And there was a lot of hurdles that we were going through with that story. And then in the midst of it, we decided that let's work on actually, we had an event. We had an event for couples called Bay Night, right? And so BAE. And so Sandra and I and Genji at the time, we brought a sex therapist from Atlanta. And this was an event. This was going to talk to couples, how to spice up the marriages and rekindle the fire. That was the main theme. So out of that, we wanted to create some sort of advertisement to boost up ticket sales. And so the event was within a month. So we had 1 month to promote it. So while we brainstorming, then we decided, let's do like some quick little snippets that leads to another snippet or something, like part 1, part 2, part 3. and we just brainstorming. Then I was like, how about we just do like a little short mini series or something? Since we had a month, so we like, maybe five episodes. And that's how the whole thing got started. That's what Bay Night is. So Bay Night is basically two couples that are, I would say, wealthy in a sense, and they trying to rekindle the fire. It really didn't even have a story. We literally took the idea, we were shooting it, writing it, producing it on site.
Wow.
Yes. This talk about 24-hour competition. It was one of those things, man. Like I remember we're sitting here writing it, we have our cameras there, and we just brainstorming. And then because we knew we didn't have a lot of time to put it together, so we knew that music was going to be the driving force to push this film, because we didn't have time to really get into heavy dialogue. So we came up with the concept, okay, this is Tony, this is Alexis, and Tony is a hard working man, and he desires what most men desires, they're a woman. And then let's say, and a lot of people get caught up with social media. So we basically said Alexis is going to be that individual. She's always on her phone, and he wants her attention all the time. So that's all we had. We had nothing else. And then so out of that, then we just began to shoot every week, write every week. And I was editing. So 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, I was up editing, and we had to release it by Friday by 7 o'clock.
Wow.
The first one we did was, I think we made it like 5 minutes. People were like, 5 minutes, that's it? No, give us more. So we started doing it 10 minutes. And from that, man, we put it on YouTube, and people start watching it. And that's how the whole thing got started. And then when it was over, when we finally had the event, now we had the scenes playing like on a big projector while the event was going on. And people was like, when are we going to receive part 2? We had no intention to stretch Bay Night to come out with part 2. So since we felt like people wanted it, so that's when we decided, okay, now we're really going to have to start brainstorming, give Alexis more of a backstory. Who is she? Why is she? Why the disconnection between Tony and Alexis? So we start bringing in more characters. We brought in a character called Miami, and different characters here and there, and we just start building it. And that's when I brought in a writer to actually write Bay Night, and that's how the whole thing got started.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was a co-writer on that project. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So it went from a series to a movie.
Yeah, we made it a movie.
Okay. But so you reused what you did in the series and just flowed, or you reshot a whole new thing?
I think we shot a whole new thing. For people who didn't see the series, they may not know the whole, like we didn't really spend so much time on. We kind of picked up from there, but not really. We added so many different things.
Okay.
But we had to, this project was really bittersweet for me. So we didn't plan to come back with a part 2. So we like, what, let's just make it a movie, get rid of it. Yeah, it was one of those things, man.
But now people are asking for more.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to do it, right?
Yeah.
No, that's great, man. And the visuals look good, man. I'm interested to see it.
Yeah, that's actually Dr. Kathy. That was the therapist, by the way.
Oh, that you guys flew into.
Yeah, that little clip right there. That's from season 1. Yeah. Dr. Kathy, she was great. She was a speaker.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Let's keep going here. What's this panel here?
include us in
That's
their
my man, Rizzler,
parties.
man.
Everyone does not include us in everything that they do. There has to be a point of division in order for us to separate and then unite among the like-minded of our people. So let's make this very clear. When we say we want to call people out, let's make this all the way clear. Everyone knows who is real and who is not, because there are some of us who are banned from every damn where because of how absolutely legitimate we are. So when you want to call people out, first they must be pointed out. We cannot unite with slave makers, slave owners, traitors, turncoats, nor collaborators. It ain't gonna happen like that. Too many of us are black people with white minds. And so when you put people in front who say they speak for us, but at this point it is 2022 going into 2023, and we are still in the same position, if not a little backward from where we were when it comes to our overall progress, I call conspiracy. Now, before anyone says conspiracy theory,
How old is he?
means when two
This guy? Yeah, he looks pretty young, right? Yeah, but I think he should. Rizzler probably in his late 30s, I'm guessing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't really know, but he's somebody that I follow, and I think they banned him on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, but that brother's deep, man. That brother is deep, man. I love him.
So what draws you to him? What is it about his? Like, are you an overall guy? Like, do you follow him? You watch Farrakhan? You watch all these other guys?
I'm a Farrakhan guy, man. I'm a Farrakhan guy, man. I love. I respect a lot of people that speaks the truth, man. That resonates to me, man. Anything that you can use to bring the culture together, I'm very big on. I will speak about it. You know, I'm like that, man, because I feel like in the midst of making film, I would say probably last month I've just discovered that my real sole purpose is to bring people together. It's to use my art to bring the culture together. And I just realized that. For years that I've been, when I think about what I've been talking about most of the time, even in my work, the people that are around me, I didn't realize that, but that's exactly what it is. I'm always bringing people together, combining people, like let's work, because we're so divided.
Yeah.
And I'm very passionate about that. I'm passionate about the culture. I'm passionate about my people from Haiti. And a lot of things hurts my heart. Like I go to sleep and I think about these things. And I ask God, like, how can you use me to bring a difference in in everything that I'm doing? How can I be a benefit to this individual? And I think because I have that type of heart, that is the reason why I'm always like connecting people, combining people, and I'm all about love, peace, and happiness, man. So anybody that that wants to bring the culture together, I mean, everyone can admit that the culture needs help. The culture's going under,
sure.
man. So for me, I'm big on that. Whether it's Louis Farrakhan, whether it's T.D. Jakes, I don't care. When it comes to religion, I'm a oneness person, man. I'm not about religion. I just feel like religions just really, brings a lot of division. Groups bring a lot of divisions. A lot of things, brings a lot of divisions, and I don't try to be part of it, everything, because I believe in oneness. And I feel like, and I'm someone that I do a lot of self-discovery. I'm always researching, reading. I read a lot and stuff. I used to read more, but anything that I can get my hands into that's going to benefit me as a person. I love people more than I have ever been, to really be honest, because of what I have gained over the years, the knowledge. I respect people even more. I respect different groups even more. It doesn't matter what religion or race that you are, because of everything that I'm learning. Everything that that resonate with my spirit. So for me, that's what I want to be able to show through my film. Doesn't matter if I was making music, whatever it is, it's always going to be positive. It's always going to be about bringing us together, you know. You know, so even and that's why I love drama and romance, because I love the idea of bringing people together. How many relationships that are broken? You know, I'm divorced. I'm in a relationship now, but I was once married, and it's not something that, marriage is a beautiful thing, but it takes a special individual to really understand, to be able to compromise, to understand what it takes. And I don't think we know the depth of being in love or what that even means. So for me, if I can create a film to bring an individual together, to me, that's a great result. And that's why I love drama and romance.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And I think, do you draw some from your past relationship too?
Oh yes, yeah. I grab anything that I can find, whether it's my story, somebody else's story, or something that I envision, I dreamed of, or because I think life is just a whole learning experiences, man. There's so much place where you can grab things from and create stories. Yeah.
Look at Kevin Hart,
Yeah.
He made his whole career off of his past relationships with his family members. So, it's all possible.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So my page is filled with a lot of stuff like that, man. It's because again, I mean, when I think about a lot of the times when I post something, sometimes I'll question myself. Do you think you should post this? And if I'm wrestling with myself, like thinking about what people are going to say, I'm going to post it, because I don't want to be in a position where I feel like I can't speak my voice.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to be free, because as an artist, this is who we are. We have to be free to be able to create. And the same way, it's a form of expression. So for me, to be able to post that, like, to me, how I look at it, like, there's some crazy things off the internet, and people don't care. No. They post these things. You got women shaking it like they why should I be fearful?
They rule the internet.
You feel me? So for me, it's like, if I'm gonna post something that's gonna educate someone, or even if they didn't want to hear it, but if it can at least bring curiosity to even go deeper and look into it, then I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Then why not? So that's just how I kind of look at it, man. I feel like, like we all here for a specific purpose, man. Everything was created. Like, there's this guy, Dr. Mike Murdoch. He says everything was created for a purpose, man. A mug right here, man, serves a purpose, man. This serves a purpose. The mic serves a purpose. The table serves a purpose. Everything. Look around you. And the same way, you was created to serve a purpose. You got to figure that thing out. You have to figure it out. So when I start looking deeper into myself, and the funny thing about life, you don't have to go look for your purpose. I feel like once you tap into something that you love, even if it's not the right thing you think you should do at the moment, but if you like it, do it.
Yeah.
Because in making that thing happen, you're going to discover different things. You could start networking with some people. Then it could be some information that they share with you, and that opens up your mind to something else. It's like God has ways of working. That's why we cannot put any limitations on ourselves. Don't put limitations on, like, where we at right now. If you're at a place right now and you may feel like, well, that's not where you want to be, whether it's good or bad, ask God, why am I here? What's the purpose? And I feel like if each and every one of us search deep within ourselves, that we're going to find that very main thing that you were created for. Because eventually you're going to find it. Like, I didn't finish school and say, I'm going to be a filmmaker. This is something that, like, fell on my lap. And even when I became a filmmaker, I still didn't really know what my purpose was. You feel me? Like I just say, I just realized, literally, it's about bringing people together. I'm passionate about that because that's when I go to sleep, that's what I think about.
Yeah.
When I'm writing Queen's King, that's what I'm thinking about. You know, so that's important. And because unity is so big for me, this is how I've been able to produce these films. Because when you don't have the budget to create, then how do you create art? You see? So now you have to learn how to, connect with individuals. If you're a filmmaker, I'm a filmmaker, you're a producer, I'm a director, and we don't have the capital, why can't we come together?
Exactly.
Form like Voltron. I grew up in an era like I love Voltron. So for me, I've always been that type of guy, let's get together and create, and there's no reason why we can't create as an individual. And we don't have that in the Black culture because of trust, because of so many different reasons. I want to be a light to say, wow, this guy is able to produce with hardly any capital. How does he do that? People still they ask that question. How are you able to produce with barely any capital? See, God is using me in that way. There is power in unity of the Black king and queen.
There is.
And that's a statement that I always say. There is power. There's and I'll share this with you. There's a scripture in the Bible. I'm not sure how deep when it comes to Christianity, but there's a scripture that talks about the Tower of Babel, the story where they were trying to build a temple to get to heaven, to get to God, and then God came down and confused the languages so they wouldn't speak together and build again. And when he says, man, if these people can come together, speak the same language like that, there's absolutely nothing they won't be able to produce. They'll be able to produce everything. So for me, how I look at this, to be honest, I can look at this thing at so many different ways. And one way that I look at it, we've been divided. Somebody have confused the language that we were once talking. We were confused. Colonizers, it started with them. And then they've created so many different ways where we are divided in so many different ways. Whether it's culture, like fashion, point of view, like so many different, So for me, it's like, when you understand that scripture, you understand what's going on. It gives you such, it burns inside. So for me, once I understand that now I know what my purpose is. And it's that togetherness that we don't have. We don't need money. See, people make money like the most important thing. And because when you make money the main subject matter, you're always going to be at a deficit when you don't have it because now you can't create.
Yeah.
But if you look to bypass the money and look around to see what you have and look at the individuals that can probably want to, support you into your vision. Because truth be told, yes, we all have haters. We all don't, but at the same token, there are people who believes in you. I'm sure there's a lot of people that believes in you. Like, I watch your podcast to know how many people you have influenced. You see what I mean? So you mean to tell me right now you wanted to produce a film that you couldn't call so and so and come together and produce? You will produce it.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So we need to get out of the mindset that because of money, I can't open up this business. I can't do X, Y, and Z. And that's the limitation that we're putting on ourselves. But we need to get back as a culture and start creating, producing again as a people, as black people. That is important, you know. So for me, I'm very big on that. Very, very, very.
And do you with people like RZA and these guys that you follow, are any of their influences in your work as well?
I would say, yeah, I would say some of it in terms of, you know, because whatever you learn, you try to implement that and put that into a film. You know, so that's important.
Yeah,
you know, that's definitely important, man.
All right, cool. Let's keep
know.
going here. I know you got some Kyrie stuff here. That could be a whole other thing.
Oh, that could be a whole lot of things. That's all over, man. That's all over, man. That's all over, man.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
I see a big check. I see you standing there. What's going on there?
I'm glad you said that. That's a big check. You know, some people may look at that and be like, it's only $500, but you know, no, it's a big check because that's how I look at things, man. If there's a penny right here, tomorrow there could be 2 pennies, man. 3 pennies, man. 4 pennies.
Hey, listen, that's a start. That's a great start to something, you know?
That's a great start to something. Again, this was the Miami Web Fest, man. We got nominated for Best Cinematography, and what was the other one? Yeah, Best Cinematography, and I think we got nominated for 3 awards, and then we got there. And yeah, we end up winning Best Cinematography, and then Sandra won Best Actress, and then we won Best of the Fest.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was crazy. We're sitting there, we were laughing because, you know, this is something we put on the fly, man, you know, so that was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
This was in 2018?
Yeah, this was 2018 because Love Until It Hurts was released. Matter of fact, I'm beginning to think. I think Love Until It, let me see, April 2008. No, was it
18?
18. Yeah, so that means, yeah, Love Until It Hurts was about to get released in right around October. That's when we actually released.
That one. Wow.
The project. So while this was going on, yeah, we were getting ready to release Love Until It Hurts.
Awesome. And then congrats on this, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
It's those little things like that, man, that helps propel you to bigger, better things, you know?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Most definitely.
Okay, so I see some Farrakhan here.
Oh, yeah, it's my brother, man.
What is this here?
Oh, I think that was a Jewish man that was explaining.
Oh, this is that guy who owned one of those teams, right?
I think so. I think so.
He's the guy who said the bad thing about Magic Johnson.
Yes. But you know what? But he's right. Like, I mean.
Well, who's right? Magic Johnson or him?
No. Well, I'm saying him. Like, because this, I like the comment that he says, like, the black community, we don't come together and support one another. Not how we should be doing it. Like, I have a friend of mine who wanted to come out with a project, and he had some Hollywood actors on the project and everything. And for a story such as Harry Moore and Harriet Moore, these are people who were there before Martin Luther King. So this is a story that has been buried for years. That people did not know about, that the KKK blew them up north somewhere in Port St. Lucie area. They died on Christmas Day. They blew them up. These are people who were fighting for equal rights before Martin Luther King. Same thing that Martin Luther King has been fighting for. So he was creating the story. He wrote the story. I think he co-wrote it. He is the producer. And I believe it was Mario Van Peebles who was going to actually work on that project. Oh, and cool. Believe it or not, man, not a single black organization backed up that project. And it was whites and Jewish people who supported it.
Really?
Yeah. And to me, when I hear stuff like that, man, it bothers my spirit, man. You know, like we should be the one who should be funding projects like that, you know. And this is what he was saying. A lot of us don't do a whole lot for the community, you know, and it is what it is. I mean,
but it shouldn't be. It is what it is with it, you know.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
It shouldn't.
We've accepted a lot of
Yeah,
that.
I'm trying not to accept that, man. Look, listen, man. Whatever I can do to support an individual, I make sure I support people. I really do. Like if you having an event, if I can make it, I come out. I really do, man. You have a book. If I can support it, I try to support it because I do understand the grind. I understand what it means to be within the arts and trying to get yourself out there. And then, you know, I try to train myself to get in the habit of supporting my own kind as well.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I mean, I support anybody. So, but when it comes to like my black people, I try to make it a big habit. You know, that it's a must. So you have to live by example.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Oh man, I got to listen to this one day and just see what he was talking about.
Yeah,
I remember him from the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, like this sign right here that says be unpredictable, be real, be interesting, tell a good story. I saw that at some building that I was driving down to Miami. I'm not sure. I think I was going to go to some event I was going to. I don't remember. I saw it. I was like, well, that's kind of dope. And I felt like it was talking to me because I'm still trying to fall in love with writing and, you know, because writing is just not my best thing, you know. So I'm trying to get better at it. And so when I saw that, I was like, I think that's a message for me. Yeah, you just never know, man.
Yeah. God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, speaks to you in crazy ways.
Crazy way, man.
You just got to have your eyes open.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, man, because I feel like a lot of us are not aware. We need to be aware of our surroundings. Sometimes God speaks, man. Literally, God speaks, and everyone, God speaks to them in a different way. We all have to recognize, like, how God speaks to us. It's important because it's in those moments He's giving instructions, you know, and we pray for so much stuff, like, you know, like God, you know, we pray for opportunities, but are we listening? You know, and I begin to listen to myself more. I remember my brother-in-law, he would always say, man, you need to listen to yourself more, because I would share things with him, and before they even happen, and he's like, oh my gosh, did you do it? And I'm like, oh no, I didn't do it. Oh my gosh, bro. Like, bro, you need to listen to yourself more. You know, so I've started training myself to listen to myself more, because I'm telling you, man, your intuition, God gave it to you for a reason, and we all have it, man.
We all have it.
We all have it, man. So it's important. It's so crazy that this could be very scary. Like, it's to the point, like, I can be in the midst, like, around people, man, and I begin to feel like the energy of people who's talking about me, like, don't like me, literally. I would say to my girl, and I say, look, I want you to, like, I would say to her, watch this person. And she began to see and feel things, like, literally. You know, we've had this moment before. Like, it's just weird, man. God will show you people who don't like you, even though they shake hands with you.
Yeah.
You feel me? You have to be that in tune. You know, I remember one time, that was when I was married. I remember we were looking for a place to stay, and we went into this one house, and we went to go see the house, and when we got there was somebody in the home. And then we were like, okay, so this person was hiding. So after the real estate agent left, so I was talking with my ex-wife at the time. We were like, was this lady, like, in the home? Like it was actually her home. She was getting kicked out. She was about to get evicted. But God spoke to me, man, to just go bring this lady some money, man, literally. Like, go shop. And I literally did it. And I remember we went back to the house and we knocked on the door. And she opened the door, and then we began to explain to her that God spoke to me to give that to her. The lady broke down and cried. And she said that you have no idea what you have done. Literally, I haven't been able to feed myself. I'm saying to myself, I'm like, God, I need this. I just prayed. And she said God spoke to her and said that someone is going to bring her money and groceries, just like that. She said she just prayed, like literally a couple of hours ago. She's been praying, and she's getting evicted, and she doesn't know where she's going. And then I think she has a kid, blah, 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 blah. And so to me, when I see things like that, so I begin to pay attention more, and I exercise these things, man. It's
wow.
God speaks, and this is just not one time. This happens like numerous times, bro. So God speaks, man, but he may speak to me differently compared to you, but, he's speaking, man. But are we listening?
Are we listening? Yeah.
So that's why you see even in this, as a filmmaker, I have to make sure that I'm constantly listening to the voice of God, because he is the captain of the ship. In this type of field that we in, man, it's shady, man.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure, like, you connected to the source, that every step that you're taking, that that you're going to make the right choice. You're going to make mistakes, but you're going to bounce from it, man.
Yeah.
So being connected, man, with your inner self is extremely important, man. It's in so many levels.
Yeah. I wonder how the world would look if everyone really did that. Followed their the God-given,
bro.
Like if God gave us a way, if everybody really just followed that, I wonder how life would be for
I
us.
honestly believe if everyone would go deeper and forget the outer man, but look deeper within themselves, I strongly believe that we will have less fights among ourselves, less shootings, because that individual that is in us, that real person, everything it does is out of love. But the outer appearance, everything it does is out of fear. A lot of things that we do, we act upon based on emotions and fear.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
See, when you tap into your inner self, because we bounce from, it's like a radio switch. We constantly in and out. It's like we're not always in the spirit. Sometimes it could be our flesh. Somebody shoot up a bird while you're driving, and you then your inner self say, calm down. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So the more we live in the inside of us, the better we would be, and the better the people that are around us would be.
Yeah.
I strongly believe that.
Yeah. No, I think the biggest key to something you just said is the fear.
Yeah.
I think people are so afraid, and then sometimes we're afraid for no reason. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
There is nothing there. You ever seen there's a meme, I don't remember what the meme said, but it was of a chair. Those plastic chairs that you have in the backyard, people have in their backyards, the little lawn chairs?
Yeah.
That you can buy at Home Depot or whatever?
Yeah.
And then it had a rope tied to one of the arms, and on the other end of the rope was a horse.
Really?
And that horse just stood there. And it mentioned something, and basically I think what it was trying to say is, look at something as strong as a horse, because it's tied to a chair, it believes that chair is holding it there. It's not gonna move, and it could sling that chair around all it wants, but mentally it believes that chair, that rope, it has tied it down to something, and so that horse is not moving. You right? That is what we live by a lot. A lot of us live by this fear of something that is not really there, something that can't really harm us the way we believe it can harm us, something that really can't. You ever been in a situation? I've been in my younger days, fights and things like that with people, whatever, right? And I was always the guy who I didn't talk. I didn't have nothing really to say, right? So someone else would be talking, and saying all this stuff, and I don't. If you knew my brothers, there's not a lot of talking, right? It's just when you're ready to go, you let me know. That's it, right? Yeah. And there's been times where someone would be like, all this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then as soon as you step up to them, it's, hey man,
Hey,
you
man,
know, there was never a real threat there.
Yeah.
There was never this thing, but they peacock, right? A lot of life is peacocking, making you believe something is bigger and worse or scarier than what it really is, and until you stand up to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even like sleeping, sometimes I don't know if you ever had this, but you feel like there's this energy. You're sleeping, you feel like there's this energy right there. Most people would get scared and want to run, hide. And when I was a kid, I did that. If I thought there was something there, I'd run and hide.
Yeah.
My grandmother at some point told me, no, never back down from anything. If you feel anything, anyone, whatever it is, you go right to it.
Yeah.
So even in my dreams, in my sleep, if I feel a threat, even when I was in school, I've heard people, they got a problem with me.
Yeah.
I'd go straight to the person. What's the problem?
Yeah.
And usually there's nothing there.
Yeah.
But if you stay within that world of
there's
this thing over there and you can't talk to it, you can't do anything because it's going to harm you.
Yeah. See, it's the same thing. This is the conversation that we've been having. I was sharing with someone that I'm that guy that's going to believe, that's going to die for what he believes. That's me. I don't fear death. You know, I'm not saying that I'm going to put myself in the harm's way, but what I'm trying to say is the way I see death is different. Like when my mom passed away, it just changed my you know, the way how I see things, man. Like my mom was the most I was a mama's boy, but I'm not spoiled. I wouldn't say I'm spoiled because I still cook. You know, I cook my meals. I do a lot of things myself. But what I'm trying to say, she was very dear to me, and when she passed away, I just went into deep thoughts and realized how short life is. Even though I've had people died before, but my mom was different. You know, and ever since then, I just look at life as it's just another transformation. So we all are destined to die. So if we all are destined to die, then what are you afraid to die for?
Exactly.
So for me, when it comes to me, when I say I'm going to die for what I believe, it's because there's nothing to fear, you know? So I've always been like that, you know, when I think about the Haitian Revolution, these brothers was like, man, enough is enough.
And have you been to the Citadel to see what they did after that revolution?
That's where I need to go to the Citadel, man.
I went earlier this year. Oh my God, I cannot believe. You know, I've traveled the world quite a bit. Not as much as I would like, but you know, I've been to quite a bit of countries, and I've seen some beautiful places, man. Beautiful places. Yeah. The Citadel was up there, and some of the most like I can't explain how you see it on pictures.
Yeah, you see it in pictures.
But the magnitude of this thing, and it's not just the size of it. I spoke about this before, where it's like to believe that people at that time with no resources, like just got through a war, just got through all this stuff and spent some years and built that thing with the engineering mind that they had to build that, man. Where they built it too.
That's crazy.
It's insane. It's huge.
I mean, I can't compare this to like the pyramids, but that's almost sort of like the pyramid, like to come from way down there to bring these resources up there to build that thing up there. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. That's crazy. With nothing, it's like stuff like that. You know, I've been to a few different places.
Yeah.
What man can do when they put themselves together.
Togetherness.
That could not have happened.
Listen, man.
By just one person.
No. See, and for me, that's how I go through life thinking. Like I live right by Las Olas area, and the thing I like about living by downtown, I get very fascinated, like very inspired by tall buildings. I walk down the street and I'll be like, somebody was dreaming. A couple of people got together and did this building together. Like so much inspiration.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it. And that's why I said we can do the same. We can do the same, but our mindset has to be different. See, I feel like a lot of us are not really successful. It's not because the lack of money. It's just your belief system. What do you actually believe? You see what I mean? So for me, I strongly believe that if we can get together as a people, and I'm saying there's not a business that you're going to want to put together that is not going to come to fruition. It's going to happen, you know? But you got to know, see, God works with people. God just doesn't work alone. He uses other human beings. Like we all basically are connected.
Yeah.
So it's about finding the right individual, you know, to build with. And I know it's a hassle. It's the same way in finding your queen, finding your king. You're gonna have to go through a whole shenanigans. Like I was talking to this one girl, and she says, "Man, I can go through all this dating and all this," and she just keep talking negatives. And I said, "Well, you have two choices. If you want to be married, then you have to go through these things. Unfortunately, that's just life. It's something called a process. You can't skip from A and end up at.
Some people don't want to go through the process.
You have to go through it. There's just no way around it. You know, so it's either you don't take the risk, or you're willing to take the risk. As a filmmaker, I had to do the same thing. Everything has risk. But so you can't sit there and complain about it. You have to make a conscious decision. Once you make a conscious decision, this is what I want to do. Okay, now you start pursuing it. And then one of the things I always pray for is like, God, put the right people on my path. Put the right people on my path. And another thing that I do, I support others. See, when I support you, even if you may not support me, but my reward comes from God. Because I'm telling you, man, the universe just works in such great ways, man. And that's how you have to look at it, you know? And I don't know, only if people would know the power of unity. I've lived it, and I'm continuing to live it, to experience it.
Yeah.
You know? And that's why I say God is using me as a symbol of what can happen with almost no money. Can you imagine? There was a guy who said to me, he was a producer. He said, "You will be a dangerous man if you had money." See? And I never forget it. You will be a dangerous man if you had money. See, I'm able to see what God has done without money. See what I mean? So imagine when you have money.
Yeah.
So the whole concept, I just feel like people are chasing the bag more. They're chasing the bag more. Same thing with arts. I don't feel like people are getting into the arts because they really, really love the art. They enjoy the art. So you can't look at the money when you're pursuing. Money will follow. It will. Money is just the reward that you get for your hard work. You know, so for me, I try to tell people all the time, like my daughter, she's in school right now for fashion, I was telling you. I never try to push any type of other career to my daughter, or you're gonna become an attorney, or no. I want you to be happy. To be happy is to be able to do the things that you could wake up and do every single day and not think twice. Brother, man, I was at a job, the last job that I was in, man, I'm sitting there crying. I'm sitting there crying. I lock myself in the bathroom, snotty nose, everything. And I'm like, God, I'm not supposed to be here. There's much more inside of me. I'm not supposed to be here. I felt like just open the door and just walk out and just head just towards the beach, because that's my happy place. I love being at the beach, by the way. So for me, I remember I called my friend Sandra. I called her, and I put her on speakerphone, and I'm in the bathroom, crying, and literally, and she said, "It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay." And there's this song that I was listening to, and the song was like, "You're not supposed to be here. What the heck are you doing here?" And it was a moment for me. And I stepped out, man. And I here's the funny thing about this. At the job that I was at, so many things was happening, like mistakes. For something that I've been able to do so well for God knows how long, because I'm a graphic artist, all of a sudden just problems begin to happen, left and right. And I'm questioning my own self. What's going on here? It was my time to go. God had to push me out, because what was happening didn't make sense to me. For the amount of years I had in the industry working in that field, it didn't make sense, brother. But it was my time to go. And I remember, and I resigned. I told my boss I couldn't do this no more. I resigned, and I've been on my own since then. You know, it hasn't been easy, but it's never easy.
It's never easy.
It's never easy, you know. And, you know, this is what most people don't talk about. Like, you know, when you go in business for yourself, there are going to be times you ain't going to be able to eat what you want to eat. You may want to dress a certain way. You may not be able to dress. Thank God I'm not a brand junkie or anything like that. You know, I'm a very simple guy. I'm like simple guy. You know, so one of the things that I've learned in becoming a filmmaker, because I know this type of industry, especially when you're starting out, buying equipments and all of that, I had to cut myself slim. Meaning is, I couldn't live like everybody else. You know, I couldn't live like everybody else. I couldn't take vacation like everybody else. So I had to live a certain way. Like, there are going to be some sacrifices you have to make in any type of business that you want to get into.
Yeah.
And I think most people are either trying to live like everybody else and being concerned about what people are saying, that they're not focused into that dream vision. I've done some things that most people wouldn't even dare doing. Like, I remember this story, and I'm not sure if I shared this story with you. I remember I had a car, and I was upside down with the car, and it was giving me problem. I was paying $500-600 in that car, and it keeps breaking. I'm upside down. I can't sell it, and I called the bank. I said, "Yo, come and get it," and I caught 2 buses to go to work. First, I start trying Uber. Then I realized Uber is extremely expensive. Then I was like, you know what? I caught two buses, bro. Most people wouldn't dare do that. Most people be like, man, I don't want nobody see me at the city bus. You know. But you have to be that special person. You have to get to that point where you really don't care what people think about you. If you want to be successful, literally, because there are going to be some things that you're going to have to live in the uncomfortable, really be uncomfortable. And I had to learn that, you know, and so when you know you can walk that path of peace. And by the way, when I got rid of that car, I was in so much peace. Yeah. And I said to myself, yo.
Yeah. Sometimes we hold on to things.
I was stressing myself, bro.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And that's when I learned. And I was like, anything that try to come in between me and my vision, my goals, I'm going to cut it off. That goes for everybody. I'm cutting you off. Even family members. If I have to love you from a distance, then that's what I got to do. I had to get to that point, you know, and that's one of the things that I thank God for, that I've learned to live extremely minimalist, enable for me to achieve my goals, and that's important.
Very important.
Very important.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think you just described some things that, you know, I've had to do myself too at some point in my journey too. So I definitely feel you on that, man. Sometimes you have to make those sacrifices, and there's times where you have to let go. There's this thing that you want, or this thing that you're holding on to that you already have, and you think, man, you can't let go of this thing because, and sometimes it's God just letting you know, like, yo, you know, it's just like your body. When you put something in your body, you know, you may have wanted this burger or this plate of food, and it was like, man, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And you're tasting it, you're eating it, you put it in your body, and right away your body's like, nope, this isn't for you.
Yeah.
The first thing your body would do is try to push it out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? For lack of a better word. Because it wasn't meant to be in your body. It wasn't for you, but you love this thing. You thought it was, you bought it at the best restaurant. You bought it at this place or this thing, you know, and it tasted amazing in your mouth, but it wasn't for your body.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
There was no nutrients in it for you, you know? So I think in life, it's something like that too. You might buy this house, you might buy this car.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that, I had a similar situation sort of with the car that I bought. The first time I bought my first luxury nice car, I bought a BMW. I was like, man, I was proud of myself. I think it was a 535 or 530 something I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
And literally I had the car for 4 years, and for 4 years in a row, I got into a major accident. Each year I got into, and it was getting worse and worse. And I'm like, man.
Wow.
And I would fight, and I would get the car back in the shop, and thankfully none of the accidents were ever really my fault.
Yeah.
So the car always got fixed, but then I'd be driving again and then. But I remember as I later on, as I moved on from the car, and I had finally said, you know what, I don't want this car no more. And I started thinking about it. I was like, man, what was my intentions behind buying this car? It was all the wrong intentions. It wasn't a sense of I accomplished something in life.
Yeah.
Let me reward myself, or I've always wanted this specific car. Let me buy. It was nothing like that. It was just I need to look good when I'm pulling up to a meeting.
Yeah,
it was very vague.
A lot of people do that. A lot of people do that, and it's I hear it all the time. You know, that's why for me, I consider myself blessed, even with my girl that I have, because we both have the same thought process when it comes to that, and it's very rare to find, you know, a queen that, you know, that's like not going just chasing the bag. That's all they see is chasing the bag. And to me, that's important. Like I literally had to make sure, like I remember praying to God, and I said, God, I do not want a woman when I have everything, or like when I have a lot of money, because now it's very hard to choose. You don't know why they're there. Is it genuine love? I want somebody when I'm at the bottom. When I'm at the bottom, and that's been my prayer ever since I was ever since I was young, literally. You know, because I've always realized that not everyone is genuine. People always have a motive, you know? And there's nothing wrong with having a motive. Like let's say you and I go into business together. It's a common thing to expect something because we're in business together and we're in some sort of partnership. That's fine. But, you know, when we talking about dating nowadays, it's extremely complex. You know, I don't even know if there's such thing called real love anymore, man. You know, everything it's like a business. It's almost so. I consider myself blessed. You know, to have someone like her. You know,
it's hard to find it these days. I think there's just so much. If there was a criteria of how relationships should be, they just added another 10,000 things to that list of things that, you know, And what I mean by that is now it's like not just what can you do for me, but how much are you going to expect of me now, and how are you on social media, and who are your friends, and it's, a lot of it is more surface level than you know, internal bonding, and then everybody expect everything right now. Everybody expect that other person to be exactly who they should be for them at a high level right there. Well, you haven't done nothing to earn that. I can't expect you know, like. If you want, that's why there's a process from meeting someone, courting that person from both sides. The man courts the woman is whatever it is the woman does. And that's it. Forgive me for not having words for that part. But then, you know, you go into a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, then you get into a fiance time, and then you marry. Well, from the beginning, people are already jumping to what the marriage would be as far as even thought. So you're comparing this person that you just met and expecting of them, you're expecting things from them of a husband, but you haven't done nothing to make this person learn you, to understand you as a wife, to understand you as a husband, to understand you as a human being, as a person, so that when you grow into that, but jumping right into it is expecting that, then you're trying to learn each other, and you're like, okay, now you feel that constraint. When you feel like you can't escape, that's when you go into protection mode, defense mode. You know, you're trying to protect yourself because you're in a space where you don't know this other person that's in front of you. But if you took the time to learn them, you know, those relationships, when you hear like people like Snoop and these guys who's been in their relationship for 30 years or whatever, and they're still with their spouses, but you know they've had probably ugly, you know, previous moments with each other, but now they've learned each other. He's learned not to hurt her in certain ways. She's learned not to hurt him in certain ways. She's learned, like, look, I got that out of my son. You know, so, but we don't have that these days. It's like, you got to be, you know, any signs of anything and I'm out. You know, now, of course, a toxic relationship, someone who really just doesn't gel with you, you know, especially at where you're at, like right now, wherever you're at, it sounds like you found a mate that has met you there. She understands you. Wherever she is in her life, it doesn't unpack where you are in your life. And wherever you are in your life, it doesn't impact her because you guys have a common understanding. You know, if most people can find that and not look like, oh, I'm a big filmmaker, so my girl got to be big time this. Or she's a big time whatever. My husband, he got to be. You get what I'm saying? No, sometimes it's not about where you're at in life as far as financially or whatever. Sometimes it's about, well, you need someone that you can communicate with, finding that. And that she needs somebody that she can, whatever it is that she needs. And if that aligns, that's where it is. And then you can build all the other stuff around that. You know?
It's like when it comes to status and you know, position, stuff like that. Like we both, when I mean we both are there, it's crazy.
That's great, man. No, I saw when I met you guys the other day. I sat there, I was watching you guys. I was like, you guys got something.
It's definitely special.
All right, so let's
you probably gonna have to. Oh, that was us in the where it says the power of unity. That right there, man. This was the night we were at Cliff Studio. Shout out to Cliff. That's my guy. So we actually we were in the studio creating a song called "Ain't No Love." I actually produced the track. I produced the track, and I have Zoranzo, that's him standing there. He actually sang the song, and then the young lady right there, Athena, she actually wrote the song. I co-wrote the song.
Nice.
We wrote the song together. And again, networking. Actually, Ian was the one who mentioned her to me. We met at a networking event. And then we just started working, you know, create the song, went in the studio, got it done. And we actually shooting the music video Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is something that recently happened.
Oh, yeah.
So you're still actively creating music as well?
Yeah, force, man. Because the thing is, I haven't touched the keyboard for like 21 something years, man.
Wow.
So it's just, again, I like to create opportunities for individuals, you know, and sometimes I'll connect with different musicians and artists, and people just don't deliver up to my expectation. You know, we all have expectation. We all have a certain way that we work, workflow. If anybody doesn't know me, I'm a serious person when it comes to like working, you know, and for me, if you can't flow with me, we're going to have a problem. And that's when I take matters into my own hands out of frustration. Queen's King was built out of frustration. Literally. Whenever I'm frustrated, something good's gonna come out. I'm serious. I'm not lying to you.
You got to be careful when you say that. Some people can be like, "Oh, okay, this is how we go get to do this."
You know, no, seriously, man. That's how this came about. Like I've even created some. I've even created some scores. You know, J.O. is actually the main person that's creating the scores for the project. Oh wow! You know, and and he was like, "Yo," because he does hip hop. You know, he actually has a song that he had produced that I think Drake and Khaled was on and stuff like that. I've known him ever since he was young, like 15.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I like building long-term relationships. So yeah, so. You know, this was fire, man. I love this again.
And you created this music for your film.
Yes,
okay.
yes. Yeah, it's actually the last scene of the movie. Yeah, that's that song. It's yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I look forward to hearing it, man.
Yeah.
And the movie as well.
Yeah.
Let's see here. This is you working on it here?
Yeah. This was us in the studio, man.
It's got that Childish Gambino look.
Yeah. Yeah. Zorenzo is dope, man. So I actually met Zorenzo. It's actually his music that's on. We use that for Bay Night trailer. Like I saw him performing, and when I heard that song "High," I was like, "This is the song for Bay Night." 3 years later. And then, we working, and then we shot the music video for it as well.
That's awesome. Awesome. All right, let's keep going here.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to scroll, man. You're probably gonna see a whole lot of political stuff, man.
That's cool. We can talk about that.
People call it political, but for me, this is important stuff.
Yeah.
For me, you know, that's important stuff for me.
Let's see here.
This was. The festival.
The one that you guys won the awards at?
No, that's recent. That's Elijah Wells. Do you know Elijah?
No.
A young filmmaker, man. I love this guy. So to do that and then showing up what we
hold on, let me start it back over.
Something that you can't deliver. You see what I mean? So we were able to do that and then showing up what we got distribution for the film. To be able to call them back and say, "Hey, I got a check for you." They were blown away that came like a year after, and some of them was like, "Yo, I've never had that type of experience before," because most directors and producers, you don't hear from them again after the project is done. So integrity is extremely important in this type of business, because at the end of the day, your name is all that you have. That's all you got left, man. It's not about nothing else. Integrity is important, man.
Yeah. That's very big of you. I remember you told me about that.
Yeah.
Going back and paying the crew and doing all that. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's dope, man. Because we need that. Because I think a lot of the times, reasons why we don't work with each other as well, there's no integrity, man.
Yeah.
There's no loyalty, and we need to start exercising that. You know. We need to start exercising that, because there's so much that could be done, so much that we can accomplish. Only if we knew.
Yeah.
Only if we knew, man.
If we just, treated each other better.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah. So we were asked to pretty much talk about the difference between Hollywood and the independent filmmaker. What are some of the ways, we can try to succeed in some of the things that we can do, And so I'm very big on, one of the things that I had everyone say was, don't fight against your brothers and sisters. You know, learn to celebrate them, elevate them, you know, acknowledge them, support them, because that's important. That's extremely, extremely important. Because if you don't know how to get along with people, it's going to be hard to make it in any industry.
Yeah.
You know, so that's important. Attitude is everything. Your attitude is everything. Got to have a great attitude.
For sure. All right, let's keep going here. What's going on here?
This is
Is this a party or something?
This was a release that a premiere that I went out to support, because remember, I said I love to support a lot of indie filmmakers, because people don't understand that when you put out a project, whether you like the project or not, or you thought it was great or not, a lot of work was put into it. You know, so for me, I feel like it's important to support the indie filmmaker as much as possible. A lot of times we support other, like one of the things I hate seeing, like at times, I see when people go on, they go on Instagram and they wishing this person happy birthday, like a celebrity, and you know, happy birthday, and the average person don't even get a happy birthday, or sometimes we'll post whatever movie they're in, or we'll do X, Y, and Z, and the people that needs it the most,
they won't do it. Yeah,
we don't do it. So for me, I try to change that as much as possible, because that's important. So I went to support this young lady. Filmmaker, director, writer, and we had a good time, man.
And it's like Issa Rae said, like when you go to places like this, you usually, especially when it's something from Hollywood or whatever. She said something, not these exact words, but she's like, you know, it's better to network and build with those that are next to you versus. You know, walk into a room and all you're focused on is the celebrity that's in there, that big name. You know,
they're not gonna see you.
They're not gonna see you.
They're not gonna see you. It's the people that are around you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, try to network, and
those are the ones you got to build with and grow with. You know, those are the ones that are gonna go hard for you, and you should go hard for it too.
Exactly.
But a lot of times people don't go hard for them; they'll go hard for that celebrity. And that guy, he just looking at he's down to do this. All right. As soon as you don't want to do it no more, or you ask for more than that. They ghost you, you know, and that's the reality of it, you know. And then on the other side of it too is they also know that there's a lot of shady people. So how are they going to look at you and not know you're not one of the shady people? You know what I mean?
Spirit, man.
Yeah. Well,
energy.
And it's to me, it's also experience
and time. Exactly.
Right. If you just, because I'm sure these people also get a lot of people who just pop in and out. They're just looking to grab something and come back out.
Yeah.
You know
what I like to do first, I like to extend my help and help a person first.
Yes.
Before I even ask for anything.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I think I'm doing as giving most of the time than taking for me.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But you'll always win that way. It's like investing money. You know?
Exactly.
You got to invest a lot. People put millions of dollars just to get a few $1,000s a month.
Exactly.
But that's the bigger hit, right?
That's the bigger hit.
Now you get a few $1,000s every month. It's consistent because you put in your investment. You know,
it was very cool to go, because I actually met a brother face to face that I've been talking to since Love Until It Hurts, 2018. He actually did a film, and he had Joe Marie Payton on that film. And, you know, that was his first feature film. And I actually liked the film, and we were chatting. We always talk, but we've never met face to face. When I was supposed to go to his premiere, something happened. So it was great to see him there, network with other filmmakers. So
yeah,
it was cool.
That's awesome. All right, let's look here. Well, you know, we can stop on some Kanye.
Kanye, my boy.
I got hit with $27 million of taxes last week. Then my payroll got cut by Adidas immediately, which was against the contract. And then I flew 2 members of Korn Resnick in last night, and they exposed the extra $40 million that they have been hiding from me of bills.
Hashtag Kinga in the comment section. Catch me with my commentary idea and I'm profit.
Did you know he's a Gemini?
I've been humbled.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Just like me.
No reason to lie. My family was taken away from me. My reputation has been smeared. Thank you, God, for humbling me and letting me know how it really felt. Because how could the richest black man ever be humbled other than to be made to not be a billionaire in front of everyone off of one comment that actually, if you look at the definition of DEFCON, it means to get extra defense, which obviously I must have needed. Yeah. I must have needed that extra defense.
Are you worried you ruined your legacy, Kanye?
How? Well, I'm not worried. I'm just not worried, period. God is alive. God runs the world. You know, God even runs Hollywood. God is alive. And he's using me right now. He chose me for such a time like this to basically for the media to put their knee on my neck. For Adidas to put their knee on my neck. All I ever wanted at Adidas, I left Nike because Nike wouldn't give me a percentage for my shoes and I had the Red October. And my girlfriend at the time was pregnant and I needed to get some money. Because if I was the kid that just had the red shoes, I could have never been a black man wearing a red hat. Like Nike would have shut me down immediately, right? But because Adidas was a German company, it gave me a little bit more room to be able to express myself and to actually have a political opinion as an American. That I wasn't forced into a political opinion because of the color of my skin. Now let's talk about the red hat.
Have you always been a Kanye fan?
Always been a Kanye since the time that he came out. Because when Kanye came out, I was into music. I wasn't even in film at the time.
Oh, wow.
So he was one of my biggest inspirational person, man, apart from Wu-Tang.
Oh, yeah. Wu-Tang.
Yeah, Wu-Tang. I'm a Wu-Tang fan, man. RZA, Bong Bong.
Yeah. Love RZA. Love RZA. Love those guys.
Yeah, so Kanye was just, I felt like he reminds me of myself, believe it or not.
Wow.
It's just that the difference between Kanye and myself, I would say I'm somewhat more selective of choices of words in terms of, and I had to learn that. Because at the end of the day, no matter how careful you are, someone is always going to see things differently.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. You paint a picture, an artist paints a picture, and you have 100 people there, they all gonna see something different. And I have to accept that as an individual. So I feel like he is misunderstood at times. And then there are times that he would do something. I personally feel the reason why certain things that he does is to capture the attention, because he's about to bring something. Like he has a certain it's like a marketing mechanism, sort of type of thing. So this is just my take on it. You feel me? Like, one of the things that he spoke about, and I had to think about this, when he says slavery was a choice. I was like, what? How could you say that, Kanye? I had to think about it. Thought about it. And then I played it back. I said, I understand what he means by now. Slavery was a choice. Just like our boys from 1804, they had a choice. We can sit here and die, be a slave, or we can start this revolt. That was a choice. So when he was saying, you mean to tell me with all these slaves right here, regardless of what the consequences is, that's why I said, I'm not afraid of death. We all are destined to die. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die for a great cause. That's Kanye. Kanye, you think Kanye cares about money? Kanye's free. He's free right now. I was listening to what's her name? She's the young lady who had the White Lives Matter. Candace Owens. She said she spoke to Kanye. She was really concerned for Kanye because she was very silent about the whole thing. She never commented up until like she recently did, like 2 weeks ago. And she says she went to Kanye just to see how he was doing. Kanye told her, now I am free. Way before all this started, I remember Kanye saying that he was getting out of these deals anyway. Kanye was never happy with what was going on.
Yeah.
And it's just something that we all can relate. Even Tyler Perry, why did he went and created his own studio? He did it for a reason, ownership.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I can't get mad at for someone because I've always been that type of individual. And this is the reason why integrity is important for me. I live by one code. Treat people the way you expected to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
I can't rob somebody that works with me. You feel me? If I'm talking about ownership, how can I be trying to rob an individual? This is why I'm always trying to educate someone. I have no problem of sharing information. People are afraid to share information these days. I'm not. Mm-hmm. I never see that as a threat. Because at the end of the day, you could say, if you think you're going to use something against me, I don't live by fear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't live by fear, you know, and what's for me is for me. You know, you think, by sharing this with you, I have no more creativity left. Yeah. Come on, man. We do this in our sleep.
Yeah.
Right?
And we're living life, so we can draw attention. I mean, inspiration and ideas.
Inspirations everywhere, bro.
From every day.
Inspirations everywhere, man. Like, for me, it's just, I meant to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can actually play a good Malcolm X, man. Has anyone
no.
ever tell you that?
No, never heard that.
I was watching the podcast, and I was like, man, he looks like Malcolm X.
Really? Nah, never got that before.
Literally, yeah, man.
Well, you never know.
Yeah,
maybe acting is in my future somewhere. I don't know, but not right now. All right. So I think this is a good time for us. Well, speaking of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King.
Yeah, Martin Luther King, man, the greats, man.
I think this would be a good time for us to play what I like to play called Russian Scrollette. Where
Russian Scrollette.
I'm gonna, randomly scroll through your page.
Mm-hmm.
You look away, and you tell me stop at some point.
Okay.
And we'll stop at something. You tell me left, middle, or right, whichever one, and we'll talk about it. All right, we'll do that a couple times. All right,
that should be interesting.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
And go.
Stop.
Left, middle, or right?
Middle.
Middle. Okay. So we're looking at this one here.
Ah.
Where's an act of violence?
Son, what's eating you up? Stop! It's not going to stop. Hoping that you won't leave me, standing here lonely, some mysterious impulse, waiting for truth.
Yeah. Well, this was a tribute to domestic violence awareness. Like every October, I try to do something, include Love Until It Hurts in there. 'Cause this is a film that's a subject that's never gonna die.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be there. So I was just trying to find, different marketing ways to not just to promote the film, but at the same time, open that to discussion and stuff like that. We normally partner up with the city, and we'll do different events around that time of the month and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you said it's geared around your project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone involved in either the project or doing this that has been a victim of domestic abuse?
That's in the project?
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
that's helped out. Like, have you involved people who's been through that situation too?
Yeah, because we've done different events. We've had one time we partnered up with Riviera Beach, and we did a panel of discussion. We had Khalila Ali there. We had a few speakers, survivors, and I love those moments. And that's where I met Tony's at Island TV. Like we would do a segment there, and so we've always had different. I mean, it's all around us, man.
Great.
It's all around us. Like growing up, I've seen it, man. My parents used to fight with machetes, man. I lied to you not, bro. Literally, there was a moment like that. They were swinging machetes.
Here or in Haiti?
Here.
Oh, here. Wow.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Imagine as a kid seeing your parents fighting, man.
Oh, you mean with each other?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant like they were out.
Nah, man, fighting for real. Fighting for real.
Oh my God.
It's crazy, man.
Well, they all survived, right?
Yeah, survived.
Everybody got their limbs.
Thank God, man.
Well, thank God they didn't, kill. That's a terrible death.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Damn. Well, we got to talk about that story. You got to use it in something because I've never heard that before. I've heard about a lot of things, but
people are like, why did you create this story out of every story? Like, as a man, I'm like, well, somebody has to tell the story. Like, I have a friend who actually came to the premiere. He's like, yo, Luner, why you always make these soft-ass films, man? Like, why can't you create a gangster film, man? Most of your friends are drug dealers and gang killers anyway.
Well,
and I laugh.
So you do have real-life experience with that because you saw your parents.
Yeah.
That's extreme case.
Yeah, that's extreme
but
case.
Now I see, where you drew some of that from, or you have some sort of
I literally had a friend that her husband used to lock her up in a room and she couldn't go nowhere. Because in the film, I actually, there's moments like that. And I wanted to create this film because I watched different domestic violence films and I didn't like what I saw. I wanted to put more of a twist in it, like more of a, I would say, like uneasy to watch. And that's one of the things that people told me, that it was very uneasy to watch. And that's what I wanted. So for them to come back and tell me that was definitely, I was proud to hear that, because that was important. Even with the ending, some people didn't like the ending because they wanted the typical take the gun, shoot them, bang, bang, and all of that. But there was a very strong message that I was trying to send.
Yeah.
That's why I did the ending the way that I did it. Again, I'm a man of peace. If you can get out of a situation peacefully, walk away from it. Like today, I was on Instagram, and I hate these type of videos where there's two individuals that's arguing and getting ready to fight, and then the guy who has the loudest mouth all of a sudden end up getting knocked out. And then I posted something. I'm like, see, you could have walked away. He could have just easily walked away. There's no point in blabbing, and we got to find ways to minimize things.
Yeah.
Stop trying to show who has the biggest dicks. Yeah, come on, people. It's 2022, man. Come on. It's like, I'm just sick of all this. Like, I grew up growing up here, you see enough. You see a lot of fights and gun pulls. It's played out. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you get out of it? So what? You got a gun. If there's a gun right here, if it's in your hands now, you're powerful. The same way fits in my hand, I'm
Yeah.
powerful. I can give it to this kid at 6 years old. He's not powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, it's played out, man.
Yeah. Speaking of like when you just talking about what you saw with the video earlier, it reminded me of a situation like that I saw happen in real life in front of me. I was in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I went to go see the 444 tour with Jay-Z. And it's a beautiful tour.
That's my numbers, by the way.
Oh, is it?
444.
Your birthday?
Nah, that's my angel number.
Angel number. Okay.
I see this all the time, bro.
Wow.
Different places.
So when you saw his thing, you must have been like, damn.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm there and Jay-Z's performing. He had this nice set or whatever. And then in front of me, there's this big dude.
Yeah.
He's like maybe 3 rows in front of me. Yeah, maybe 3 rows, two or 3 rows in front of me. And then there was a couple behind him. But the guy in that row, he's like jamming to Jay-Z, but he's a big dude. But he's like throwing his body around. And I guess he backed up some, and the guy in front, everybody's standing up because the music's great, right? I'm standing there. And then I was with my friend Roxy, who's a radio host or whatever. So then the guy is standing there, and he's like doing all this, and he bumps the guy behind him because he's like throwing himself around. He's a big dude. And I guess because, and again, it goes back to what you were saying, you know, deal with things peacefully, right?
Yeah.
So the guy behind him just taps him, go, yo, chill a little bit, you know, and especially when you with your girl, it's kind of like, yo, relax a little bit. So he kind of tells the guy, you know, hey, relax, you're kind of bumping us or whatever. And I guess he took that as disrespect or something, like somebody's telling him he can't throw himself around. Like, but you're in a concert, there's a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So then the guy's like, so now he amps it up even more now. Because he doesn't like that the guy behind him told him to relax.
Yeah. So
now he's throwing himself even harder, moving around. And I see the guy behind him like looking at him like this step, looking at him. And then he turns around, he starts facing the guy and doing all this and that. And he starts getting in that guy's face and he got a little too close. And that guy just backed up, boom, knocked him out clean. Now, this guy wasn't like a big old guy. He wasn't like, but apparently he knew how to fight or something.
He knew how to fight.
Well, this guy was bigger than him with just one hit. Boom, knocked this guy out clean on the floor. Paramedics had to come pick him up. And what was funny about that situation is Jay-Z's stage, right? Imagine like this was Jay-Z's stage. It was a square stage.
Yeah.
So Jay-Z would perform. He would like perform a song here. Then he would move to this side because the crowd was all the way around him.
Yeah.
Right? So he would stand here. He would stand here. He would stand here. So at the time when this was happening, Jay-Z was performing towards us. Right? So he's performing towards and he's watching these guys. He's watching this guy, but you know Jay-Z, he's not jumping around. He's like at the mic like this, and he's just rapping, doing his thing. As soon as he saw the guy hit him, Jay-Z just picked up the mic and went to the other side of the stage. He put the mic down on the other side of the stage and started rapping over there. So smooth, didn't even react like, oh. He just picked up the mic and moved to the other side and kept going over there while this whole thing happened, bro. But, you know, that was a situation there where that guy... First of all, he was wrong for doing that. And two, like, be a little humble. If somebody's telling you a little bit, you know,
it doesn't
think
hurt.
about that. It doesn't hurt to hear that. Sometimes we need a little bit of constructive criticism or somebody to tell you, oh, relax, you're doing too much or whatever. And we have to be able to take that. But some people, they get so embarrassed or their ego or their pride gets so big. That's what it is. And then they act out even worse than what it is. And then you'll find somebody like that will knock you off, you know.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy, man, because you don't know who does martial arts or not. Who's a fighter.
Yeah.
You don't know, and then you don't know who are crazy. I've seen people like they don't care about going to jail, bro.
Oh no,
they don't care.
I know guys like that.
If you feel me, so you got to be aware. What's that thing my girlfriend always say? Emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence.
You gotta be. Yeah. You gotta use that. It's important. And nowadays, it's crazy.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. And you know, I know. Literally, there's crazy people out there. Like I've been. You know, I'm a pretty peaceful guy for the most part, and I've ended up in a couple little situations in my life, and somehow. I guess because of my, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't have any fear, but I don't at the same time, right? So there's situations I've gotten, And I've had those crazy people who I know will be ready to lose their life for me or lose their their freedom. And I have to think about it and I have to go, nah, bro.
No, it's okay. Relax, bro.
I'll deal with this myself. You know, like I never call people. I'm like,
I know what you mean.
Because the guilt for me is like, yo, I let this hound off on me.
You don't want this on you.
I don't want this on me. So let me deal with this. If it gets too crazy, then maybe. But right now, let me deal with it, bro. Like, and there's people out there, like they're, you know, we got to be careful with that. All right, let's do it. Let's do another one here. You ready to go? All right, and go.
All right, stop.
Left, middle, or right?
Let's go right.
Right. All right. So you got this here.
Walter. This is the film that I was telling you about. Walter Shaw.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the film is not going to be made. They couldn't raise up the funds for that project.
Oh, this is the one where.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they were trying to get to 2.8.
Mm-hmm.
And
how far did he get?
Probably got half of it or something like that. And this was going to be distributed by Lionsgate, by the way.
Wow.
And then they were, then another studio, I think Magnolia, wanted that project. And I think, according to Walter been in the business for a very long time. And a lot of people wanted to do the film, but they either wanted to do it in Atlanta or they wanted to do it somewhere else. And, you know, Walter wants the story to be here. You know, he has his reasons.
And then it was based from, because you said this is the story that happened in Fort Myers?
Yeah, like, I think it's above Port St. Lucie. Yeah, where I actually went to the museum. I took some shots where they sort of rebuilt the house, and then they created the people and everything. Like, they added everything that was in that house. So it's an actual museum where you can actually go. Wow. They have all the documents when they was fighting for voting rights, all of that. You know, so yeah, this is a beautiful story. I didn't know about this story up until maybe 3 years ago. 3 years ago, we got selected for the Orlando Film Festival for Love Until It Hurts. And while we were there, then I saw so many short films about Harry Moore and, you know, Harry and Harriet Moore. I didn't even know. It was after Walter mentioned Harry Moore to me, then I was like, now I'm seeing these stories coming out.
Yeah,
it was weird.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a story that I wanted. Like, this is the set, by the way. I actually went on the set. They brought the set. It was a beautiful set. This is when they just brought the walls. They completely did everything. It was inside of a bank and everything. Me personally, if I had the money, I would have funded the project.
Is that good?
I would have funded the project, and we had some good actors on it.
Great, yeah. I'm here. Mario Van Peebles. Yeah. I don't know who Aisha
Keith David. Aisha, she's actually she's a Disney. I think Disney had a Broadway something. I think she won Best Actress for something. Yeah, she's in Broadway. So this was going to be her first film.
Okay.
Her first film, but she's done a lot of stage plays.
Some good people here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. So it's the price for freedom. There's always a price for freedom.
Oh, for sure.
You know.
It's probably about true story.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, you know, we're gonna start wrapping it up here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start making my way down to your very first post. Do you remember what it was? Here?
No.
You don't remember?
No.
All right. As I make my way down to your very first post, I would like for you to tell me what you post to say. When you post all of this, you have a lot of different things, political, your work, yourself. What is it that you want people to take away from your page when they go to Luniversal?
Yeah.
What is it that you want them to feel, take, understand from you?
Yeah. I want people to be empowered.
Come on. Yeah.
I definitely want people to be empowered. I want to educate individuals. I want to be able to open their mind to look at things at a different way. And I'm not sure if I want to be a role model to anyone. And the reason why I'm saying that, because there's so many different people in this world. Who exactly am I going to cater to? But I hope people find inspiration in what I do and who I am, if that makes sense. You know, even through my films, everything that I post, hopefully they can find something that that would empower them, to change them, to make them want to change. Like, but unity for me is my number one thing that I want to be able to demonstrate a lot, and I want people to see that in me, and hopefully they can take that and apply that to their own self and spread unity as well. That's why you see a lot of political things on there, but they call it like political, but you know, I guess it depends what you call political and what's not. But for me, it's it's education, man. Anything that's going to bring the culture forward, I'm on it. I'm for it 100%. Doesn't matter, you know who said what. You know, I'm all about righteousness. You know, so I'm always going to post that.
Awesome.
You know,
awesome.
Unity for me is everything. When you guys come out to the theater, that's what I'm expecting for everyone to get after the film. You know, to be more unified. That's important, extremely important. Like, I go to sleep at night and asking God, like, how can you use me? Literally, how can you use me? I know I'm more than just a filmmaker. You know, I don't know what I'm gonna be in 5 years or 6 years. I can't determine that. You feel me? Only God knows. But I'm allowing God to use me as a vessel to be, I don't know, whatever He wants me to be, you know. But I just know definitely that's my, you know, that's why, like, Queen's King for me, it's not just a logo, but it's a symbolism of hope for unity, because we need it in our culture. You know, one of the things that I say that I want to be able to do, when you come watch this film, your ticket in, you gotta buy a shirt. That's your ticket. Everybody coming in this shirt, and if you can't get in the theater if you don't come in with these shirts. That's just how I'm doing it, and that's, you know, I want to show unity. Yeah,
that's great. Great. I love it. Love it. All right, so we're here at your
that was my last
very
one.
first
That was
post.
my first post. That's what I used to shoot music videos. Oh my gosh!
Just look at this here. Who's this video for?
Rich Fetty. I think this was probably that's me right there with dreads. Dreads, man. I used to have dreads, man.
Nice.
That's me right there, bro. I think I was working with Canon 60D, I think, at the time. You know how we all started, man. Shooting music videos. Yeah, man.
That was here in Miami?
Yeah, that was here in Fort Lauderdale, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, those guys, Rich Fetty, Imp Fetty. I've been shooting for them for years. You know,
Nice.
that's
how did you end up doing this video?
I grew up with Rich, and his cousin who's out in LA. He was like, "Yo, you should get with Rich, man, and do some music videos for him, blah blah blah." And you know, then I just kind of I reach out to him. He was like, "Yo, Luner, yeah, I've been watching you, blah blah blah," but I didn't know that he's been watching me. And so so I did one music video for him, and he liked it, and that's pretty much it, man.
And do you still do music videos, or?
I really don't, to really be honest, man. It's like it has to be selective to really be honest. The industry that we in, it's either you love it or you hate it. In terms of, because I've shot anything from weddings, which I don't like. And but I'll do a music video before I do a wedding. You know, I think for me, when I think about how I want to spend my time, I don't want to sit there and edit a music video. A lot of people don't give respect to the art, the craft of what you do, and the amount of work that you put into it. And I put a lot into my work. So a lot of it has to do with the type of clientele that you have. If they're not going to put the right price up, I'm not going to waste my time. I would rather spend time writing a new script, creating a new movie. So I focus on that. All of my energy is going into my filmmaking right now. All of my energy. Not to say that if a job comes that I won't take it, price has to be right. You know, that's one of the things that I had to tell myself, that I only have 24 hours in a day, and how I spent that time is extremely important. You know, so I'm very selective in terms of how I spend it, what I do. If this is not going to worth my time or money, not going to do it unless I'm doing it for a friend. I think the last music video I actually shot, if I'm not mistaken, was mine, and it was to promote my film. You know, so when I tell you that I do not have plan B, I got plan A. I got to work plan A. So I got to put everything.
Well, it's the plan.
It's the plan, you know. So I got to stick to the plan, you know. Like, I want to be able to shoot 2 films next year. Don't ask me how that's going to be done. Don't ask me if I have a script yet. I don't have a script yet, but I do have something in works. But I like to kind of put things out into the universe, you know. And that's why I'm just connecting with people. I'm just ready to sort of grow, you know. That's where I'm at.
Dope. And so let's end it on this. I would like for you to, you know, you started. Is this your very first post ever?
I believe this. I think this was my first post. To be honest.
So out of all the things that you could have posted, I'm sure you've had more pictures and different things like that. What about posting this moment for you? Made you what about this made you want to start off your journey on social media, on posting your world? Why did you choose this out of everything you could have posted?
Well, it was my first music video. I think, it was my first. It was my first, because the first one that I did, it was mostly like a teaser. I don't think the song was that long. And he was sort of testing me out. And then after I did that, and I was like, okay, I kind of like that. And then I really liked that music video right there. And they actually loved it for what it was. And I was like, oh, I can do this. So I'm like, you know what? Let me post it. And so social media was just like really, I wasn't big on social media too. So I was just testing Instagram, because I'm coming off Facebook. You know, so I was trying to get used to social media, and I said, you know, let me post that. Then I start posting my next, you know, music videos and so on, because I began to understand how important that it is for people to see your work. So yeah, it's important, especially as an independent filmmakers. It's important. And I do mostly Instagram. I don't even do Facebook anymore. I have a Facebook page, but I probably won't come out until there's a release. You know, but it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to do. It takes a lot of work, even to compose a post. Sometimes, like, I'm not talking about like these posts, because a lot of times, like, we'll call them political, like the political posts. Like, I have certain views and thoughts, and so it takes me time to write my thoughts down. Then I have to show it to my girl. I'm like, what do you think? You know, she'll make corrections, and then I'll post them. That takes time. You know, and And depending on what's happening, like if you look at the Kanye posters, they were like all over, you know. And then so every time I get inspired, I'll post something. So, you know, I enjoy doing that. I enjoy doing that.
That's great, man. That's great. All right. Well, thank you, man. I truly appreciate you coming to do this with me and giving me a little bit more about who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we recently met, but it feels great to know that, you know, there's somebody like you out there, you know, creating stuff from your life and inspirations, and most importantly, you care about quality. You care about people.
Yeah, that's important.
So I look forward to seeing more from you.
Yeah.
See what else you create.
I look forward to be working with you, my brother.
And that's what I was going to next. And working with you, you know what I mean? So I'm sure we'll come together on something soon, hopefully. And yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
But we got to do this again. You know, you had a lot more we didn't go for, you know. We only touched on a little bit.
I know.
Next time we'll...
for sure.
Right?
No, I really enjoyed this, man. Thank you so much, man.
No problem. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah.